with you. We need your questions.
We do.
Below. We're going to get started here in just a second once we get some folks in. All the rest doing well. We've been having some killer Sunday night shows, every night shows. We're going to start doing Sunday night shows once a month, though, when this is all over. Because I used to think, God, a live show once a month was so hard. And now I'm thinking, dude, I'm doing 7 shows a week. What? Once a month would be fine. We've been having fun.
That's true. Yep.
Alfred has become a legend.
He has. My mom talks about Alfred all the time.
Dude, Alfred he's legendary. He came in. I got him on video a couple nights ago with a pal Mickey that he bought.
Oh, awesome.
Wade, we got talking about extinct stuff, like stuff that was gone. What's up, Brian?
Oh, hi. Yeah. Are you going to take her? Yeah. Okay. I don't know what you're doing.
Oh my gosh. My phone's doing talk to text for the last 5 minutes. So that's awesome.
We will have a transcript of tonight's show.
Right. I'll forward that to you right now, Mike.
Yes, there will be a transcript of tonight's show.
Well, since it is my talk to text, there will probably be several curse words that, of course, I didn't say. Like I meant to say something else. And in addition, there will be about 800 sentences that make absolutely no sense because it completely inserted words that I didn't use at all.
No, exactly.
I'm going to go with that too. That whenever I see something that I didn't say that.
That is not grammatically how I speak. Exactly. I, of course, use the King's language at all times.
Yeah, SIR. I did not say that. We always have our friend call in. Her name is Alexis from California, and I can never say her name. So,
oh my gosh,
big old man. Yeah, but anyway, Malcolm. So we were talking about stuff that's gone but not forgotten. Okay, so this was one of Alfred's ideas for shows. We talked about it. Wade called in. He still has a pal Mickey. So I made him play his pal Mickey on the phone, like all the stuff he does. He'd work or not. So then Alfred gets the itch. And so he goes on eBay and buys a pal Mickey. Okay.
What?
So yes. Okay. So it's supposed, he said it costs a fortune. I don't know.
I'm sure.
You can tell. He doesn't have to tell us how much it was, but it was awesome. So anyway, he's like, it'll be here in like a week or something. Okay. So this was early last week. Boom. It was like there within, I think, less than 48 hours because it came from like Brooklyn and he's in New York.
Oh, that's funny.
It was there like 2 days later. So then we got Alfred with this pal Mickey on the video. I put the link up. So he was on the video and his pal Mickey was the one with the Sorcerer Mickey hat. Like the,
awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was awesome. It was so
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Seriously. We've been having a good time.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So hello, Tanya. Guess what I'm for dinner, Tanya? Taco Bell.
I'm gonna guess Taco Bell. I mean, it's not like it's a surprise. Let's be perfectly honest. It's not a surprise.
Tanya hooked me up with a Taco Bell gift card.
Oh, that's nice.
Tanya tonight. Yeah. She's so sweet. I love it. She's down in Tennessee. All right. So, Malcolm's here from the UK. Hey, James Shane. We have the crew in here tonight. Tim, Logan, Jackie, Karen.
That's awesome.
Kelly, George down in San Antonio. Diane's here. Everybody.
Sorry, not the corona. Not the corona.
Man, dude, tell me you got the allergies.
It's allergies, and I can't swallow right for some reason.
Well,
I told you with that mic, man, it's so clear. It sounds like you're my conscience. I can't have you coughing into my ears like that.
I know. How bad would I feel about the corona too? Because after all this time, I finally saw my parents yesterday.
You gave it. There was a place across the way from us, across the lake, man. They had a party.
Oh, really? We did not have a party. We had 2 people.
Got it.
We're under our 10 limit. And actually, this Friday, I'm going to allow to have 20 people.
What?
Is that your state rule?
Yeah, I believe so.
Party at the Foresters.
Once we're in the yellow, then I can have 20 under 20 people. I can have a gathering of under 20 people.
Nice.
So you all can come over.
Party at the Foresters.
Our county's pretty wide open. Like we had a baseball tournament across the street, 24 teams this weekend, Mother's Day baseball tournament. Yeah, they played a baseball tournament. Rikki, Main Street, St. Charles, dude, it was packed this week.
Really? Packed. Oh my God.
Because it's back because we're open, but St. Charles County's not.
Got it.
And those other counties are. So everybody's coming over from all the closed counties. So,
got it.
Dang.
Got it.
Get out of our county.
Well, that's what's going to happen. Ohio is like, 25 minutes away from us. They're completely open, like restaurants and stuff, starting this week. Well, how long do you think it'll take until our Pennsylvania restaurants are like, hey, we're losing all this business to
They're all going to Ohio. Yeah. Yeah.
I just moved to St. Charles County in July. Grew up my entire life in St. Louis County, and now I'm in St. Charles County. I'm like, blow up the bridges so nobody can come over here. Get in and don't leave.
Michelle Davila, she says she's from Pittsburgh too. Yeah, Michelle, we get to go into. I guess we get to go into the yellow the same time Allegheny County gets to go in, which is crazy. I never would have anticipated that because Allegheny County is where Pittsburgh proper is. We're actually north of Pittsburgh. I always say I'm from Pittsburgh because,
right.
That's our nearest biggest city.
I mean,
anyway.
Yeah, same for us.
Wendy, it looks like Wendy's in Southeast, I guess, Philadelphia area, it looks like.
Yeah, Wendy. Yeah, you guys are so much closer to New York City.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah, we're pretty, St. Louis County opens next week, so we'll see how that goes. But
I know we got till Friday. You know what I just want to do? I want to go to our local nursery and buy flowers for my window boxes and stuff.
Yeah, we did that a couple weeks ago. We have all kinds of. We went to Home Depot.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the mom and pop is like a True Value. We have Candyman in Florissant, but there's one like that out here.
Yeah.
We went there, got some flowers and mulch.
Nice.
Yeah, got to support the little guy, man.
Yeah, of course.
I know.
It is funny though. The Home Depot, is packed.
Oh my gosh,
packed for 6 weeks, and I don't think anybody's died that's gone in there. So why is that so special?
That's what people were saying. We don't have to mail in our ballots. We can just go to Home Depot to do it because apparently it's safe there.
Home Depot.
Or hold church there, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Have your minister down the hammer and nails aisle or something.
Grab the nearest board.
I feel like there's some symbolism there, Mike.
Oh yeah, I didn't even
Exactly. We're getting close to Jesus.
I don't go into the hardware stores often because I can't make anything, but I just know behind me, Paige is working on a project for her friend and she's cleaning up the basement, and over there's a paper plate with these little nails on it that the dog thought was a snack the other day. Dude, don't eat those. And there's a hammer sitting next to it. So on my couch down here, which used to be pristine, there was a hammer and nails because she's making some kind of string art project down here.
Oh no, that's funny.
Well, at least you didn't have to make a very expensive trip to the vet.
That's true.
Because for your dog, you're not real smart. It was these little bit. They're little bitty nails because she's tapping them into a board and then doing with Missouri, this outline, and then Colorado where a friend's moving and whatever. But they look like they could be, little.
Oh yeah.
I used to eat potato sticks all the time, the potato sticks. Those were awesome. That's the wrong color. But dogs are colorblind, I think. I don't know.
Definitely.
That's funny.
Let's answer questions. I'm good.
All right.
Let's do it.
Okay. So questions in the chat, guys. We need them because a lot of the questions we have in the inbox, and I love that you guys wrote these in. We're not getting as many lately because there's not as much to talk about.
Well, not only that, but even if we have them, the questions won't be that relevant. I have a trip planned for go and date, and I was like, "Aw."
Check me in on May 31st.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think Memorial Day crowds will be like?
Right.
They'll be pretty slow. But I think you're good this year.
Oh, did you see what speaking of, did you see what Jay posted on Facebook today? Jay Griffith?
Of which part?
Well, he posted he's like, wait times at Disney are low.
Oh.
Great clips in Orlando.
Yes.
They're like
I saw somebody else post that too.
My brother posted that too. Yeah. He's like, what's going on here? Great clips is like Disney.
People are missing that.
The RunDisney sign up. Cross your fingers and pray.
Yeah, there you go.
Buy a package that includes registration.
All right, so they don't have me anymore, I don't think, for the most of the races at this point. Where'd you go if they open it? Okay, that's a good question. All right, so let's get to the first one about Princess Half Marathon cheering, and then we'll go to the questions in the live chat.
Gotcha.
All right, here we go. Wait, what number is this? 1667. Welcome to episode 1667 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com. Welcome to another listener question show. We're so glad you're here on your Wednesday. I hope that you are doing well, staying safe and healthy. And we're recording, of course, here live on Facebook, and we're having a good time in the pre-show with everybody. So if you've never dropped by, we're live on Facebook each and every night at this point, but Monday nights, usually around 5:45, you get the entire crew. We have some fun, and then we get to the the listener questions, and then we record the Friday show. It's a good time for a couple of hours. So joining me today to answer your listener questions, we have Rikki from touringplans.com and, of course, themouseforless.com. Rikki, how's it going?
So, guess what, guys? There is a Disney park that is actually opened once again in the world. It's like angels are singing, right? I've got to say, like, there's a Disney park finally open again. And I have to say, I watched the video of the opening ceremony and I might have gotten a tear in my eye. There might have just been something in my eye. I'm just saying, dust or something, because I may or may not have teared up. And I did not expect to have that reaction. I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch this just to, see the grand opening and what they did. And then, like, all of a sudden I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I missed Disney a little more than I thought I did.
See, I didn't see the coverage of. I read it. I read like the quote that was emotional, and I thought it was very well said. I mean, like, the quote was perfect. Straight out of Disney marketing, perfect.
Absolutely.
But what have you seen as far as like how it went? Because we're about 2 days in as we're recording, and I haven't seen anything. My wife was actually asking. I'm like, well, I haven't had I've been super busy the last couple of days and haven't had a really time to dig in. But I was like, I guess no news is good news, because you'd hear bad news for sure.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, like, people are going, they're wearing masks. They are doing the social distancing thing of, like, if you want to watch a show, they have these squares that are set up so that you stand in the squares so you can watch the show or sit, because in, those countries, Asian countries, they sit down for, shows, which is something I wish we'd do here, but we don't.
Adopt that. Heck yeah, we could adopt that. Let's go.
So, I wish that we did that here, but we don't. And then they had like spots where, this is in the queue, this is where you can't stand, this is where you can stand, that kind of stuff. So they were doing some really interesting things that I think that we'll bring over here, when the parks open. And it'll be interesting because Disney Springs opens here in a couple days too. So it'll be really interesting to see how things progress with Disney Springs. And I think we'll see kind of what they use there to go into the parks eventually when they reopen too. So it's an interesting time for sure.
It is. Yeah. So let me get Pam in here. Pam Forster, she's the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, hanging out with us here on a Wednesday. Pam, how you doing?
I am doing great, and I'm so happy to be here. Love getting to do the listener questions, really and truly, and I love the ones that are floating by very quickly here in our chat. I don't know, Mike, I don't know how you keep up with all those, but I usually shut that portion off because it would be distracting to me, because I would be like halfway through reading one of the questions and then you'd ask me a question and then I wouldn't be able to answer, and that's how it goes. So
that's why I had to get the big old 32-inch monitors, 2 of them here. It's like mission control. I got stuff everywhere. I got the meter going for the recording. I've got the status for the video. It's crazy. I love it. That's it.
Too many things.
Let me ask you this, Pam, kind of piggybacking on what Rikki said about the Shanghai opening. I think that, I did see I saw a couple of videos. Somebody shot like first person. They were going through the entry procedure where I believe they kind of got sprayed down or something. I mean, it was kind of strange, but maybe I looked at fake news. I don't know. It was on Facebook. No, I hope I didn't get caught. But I mean, the thing is it going to be different in the States because of the cultural differences between Americans and folks in North America compared to Asia? I mean, do you think that? I just think that maybe Americans and folks at Walt Disney World and I've joked about this, but it's the honest God truth. I mean, a Walt Disney World vacation is a competition all the time. I mean, this, when you're doing social distancing, you absolutely got to turn off that competitive piece of your brain, which, I'm super competitive. That's hard. So I just don't know. I mean, even if it goes well in Asia, I think that, because you've seen people like in line for Lowe's or something, where they're social distance 6 feet apart. And I constantly, like on live PD, there were like 7 fights they showed Friday night of people just beating each other up because somebody like tried to snake them. It was crazy. So what do you think about all this?
Well, hopefully we will not see an increase in violence on guest violence at the parks. Honestly, truly. I think that probably, let's say, that people who are really excited about going there, I hope that they'll extend a little grace to each other. And, it's hard though. Here in the States too, I think there are often times where we all need to live in the state of mind your business, right? Because I just am like, some of the things I see people complain about on Facebook, I'm like, what? Why do you care? Like, literally, why do you care?
Move on. It's fine.
Move on. If you don't like that, then don't do that. I mean, so I hope that we're a little more forgiving in that space, live and let live as it is. So I don't know. I think that there will definitely, I think there will be different requirements, not just culturally, but probably from our government, be it, our countrywide government or on a state and local level or whatnot. And I think that they'll all be doing their best to keep us safe. And just hopefully folks will adhere to those guidelines, and we'll see.
What if they had like a 10% taser? You know what I'm saying? Nothing's gonna like drop you to the ground, but it's just gonna get your attention. Okay, you're
like just to stun, like when in Star Trek they set their phasers to stun. Oh, we've been showing Hannah some of the old Star Treks, and she's they say that all the time. She's like, were they usually set to like kill? And I'm like, maybe it was just a reminder, put these on stun.
That's a good point. I mean, when they zap, like this isn't Star Trek, it's Star Wars. But like when they zap Princess Leia at the very beginning of episode 4, like they were like set to kill, and then
right.
It's not that, but I don't want to get zapped that hard going down Main Street. I mean, like if I get looked close, just give me. It's like when you lick a 9-volt battery, something like.
We don't lick 9-volt batteries too much here. That must be
when I was a kid, because I mean, remember, I'm
everything. But here's a Mike Robin thing.
When I was old, like we had all those handheld electronic games, like electronic football, like and all that. So my dad would always be like, "I think the battery, we got to change the battery. Here, lick this battery and see if it's good."
God, this explains so much.
Did he make you like put your finger in like the socket if something was off with the electrical system?
God, I did look a lot of Everetti's back in the day.
I have so much more understanding right now. I just have to say.
Too.
We're in these days of the parks being closed, and what else there to talk about? All right, anyway,
oh my goodness!
All right, let's go. Rescue us, people! Yes. Rescue us.
The show brought to you by Everetti, the battery that jolts
you can lick. Apparently,
yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna have a Taco Bell with a side of Everetti tonight.
Oh, no.
Anyway. Let's see. She says, place to cheer at Princess Half Marathon. Hey, Mike and BOGP crew. My mom and I are going to be at Princess Weekend again this year. We did the 5K only last year, but had a complete blast. Her and I will be running the 5 and 10K, and I'll be running the half solo. Where's the best spot for her to see me while running along the course? Are there several spots she can see me? What's the best form of transportation for her to get to these places? This is my very first half marathon. Thanks so much for your help and putting on the podcast. They make my runs very enjoyable. Thank you, Jessica. Well, Jessica, thanks for taking us on the runs. I love when people take us for runs because I know how much that means, because every morning I'm out there with my shows I listen to, and it's like they're the only things keeping me moving. So thank you. And congratulations on your first half coming up this February of 2021. So as far as rooting and cheering for the half marathon, there's a couple of places. They do require a lot of work, though. One would be the TTC. Another place to watch is Main Street USA. And then I'm trying to think, the half marathon goes through the boardwalk. It does, right? Yeah. It's the same course as marathon weekend. So it will go through the Beach Club, Yacht Club, or the boardwalk. Sometimes they only run you through the Beach Club, Yacht Club. Sometimes they'll run you through the boardwalk, but you'll have the course map in plenty of time. What I would suggest, now you guys can cheer, because you guys cheer the half a lot, that course. I would say to have your mom go to the Beach Club, Yacht Club, or boardwalk. You're more open. It's easier to get to. You have space. You can stop, hug her, talk to her and stuff, and you're towards the end of the race. But the TCC in Main Street is a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work as well. So, Rikki, do you want to speak to that? I mean, what those options are like?
Yeah, I mean, Main Street is going to be it's so hard, so very difficult to get through, and it's a lot harder to stop at Main Street too. If you want to give them a hug or, whatever, it's so much harder to stop there. So if you are looking at having her cheer you on and you want her to be in that area, I would definitely suggest the TTC area. because there's a lot more room in general. You can stop and give hugs and stuff like that a lot easier. So that would be my suggestion, way over, the Magic Kingdom. Plus, I mean, in a weird way, like, you really want to enjoy the Magic Kingdom, and I feel like if you have to stop and say hello, and you don't get that full magnitude of, like, I'm running in the Magic Kingdom totally. Like, you have this distraction in a way because you're like, where are they? And you're looking for them, and stuff like that. I would personally want to just enjoy running in the Magic Kingdom, like, unencumbered, I guess.
So. I agree. That's like going down Main Street USA and high-fiving everybody all the way to, even though maybe I can't do that anymore. Everything I do is wrong. Like, I love high-fiving strangers. I'm going to kill myself next January, but we'll see. Anyway, so Pam, the TTC is a nice spot, though. I mean, it is, but it's a lot of work. I mean, I guess, how did you guys always get there? Did you go to the Polynesian? You ride the monorail? What'd you do?
Yes. I was trying to think. Oh, you know what? A lot of times we took race transportation.
Yes, that's key.
So we took the transportation to wherever it was, it would typically, since it was starting in Epcot, we would take race transportation to Epcot and then take the monorail over to the TTC. And that's the way we did that. So it is challenging. I mean, just, I've said this before on the podcast, and we all have, that transportation on race weekends is challenging. It's one of the things that makes it a challenge, that it's not always figured out. Not only that, the cast doesn't always know what's going on. So it's really hard to go to the people you would typically go to, right, at the front desk, or to call in if you had a question, and it's just not an option. So,
yep. And I will say, just so you know, so your mom has an idea that spectators are just as welcome on the motor coaches to get around as the runners. So you'll see a majority. It's going to be mostly runners getting on those buses, but the spectators, to get where they need to be staged to cheer, have to take those buses as well. So they're very much welcome on the buses, and it's keep you company as you're going to the beginning of the race. You're going to be nervous first half marathon. You're going to have fun, but I get nervous, and I've run a bajillion half marathons. All right, Gina's got a really interesting question, because I think this is important for a lot of folks out here. Says her trip begins June 9th. This final payment still due 30 days prior? Hasn't been extended. Can I get a refund if I decide not to go? So Disney obviously this is kind of a fluid situation with everything going on right now. For check-ins through the end of June, your final payment date is now 7 days prior to check-in. So you have a little more leeway. You don't have to do it at 30. You can do it at 7 and still get that full refund. I got that right, Pam? Just to make sure.
Yep, you do.
So there you go. So it buys you time. And, obviously I would guess that, a lot of people are asking about June. We don't know, because obviously you can't make new June reservations at this point, but I would imagine today, as we're recording, is May 11th. You're listening on May 13th. Obviously, we're 2 weeks out from June. So I'd say, just hang in there, and we'll probably get some information here probably in the next week to 10 days. Just guessing from how things have been going.
Yeah, they're trying really hard. I think the balance is what holds the delay up, is they want to be open as soon as they can, right? But they also want people to be safe. And I think that we're just progressing through what that will look like at this point. So
That's right. All right. Tiffany's got a good question here. Have any of you done the Wild Africa trek? I really want to do this. Have not. Pam, have you done that?
I haven't, but we have lots of agents who have, and all great reports from everyone who has done this Wild Africa trek. I honestly have not really heard a bad thing about it. So I think that this one is safe to put in the go ahead and do it category, because people love it.
Yeah, I have not. And the thing is, like, when guests get back and I ask them, what did you like from your trip? We just kind of debrief, and I ask them, what would you change? Just, simple questions like I would do with anybody when I taught, like, how would you make this paper better? How'd you make this project better? When they go on this tour, they always rave about it. But the question I follow up with is always, did you find this to be a decent value? Like, was it, because it's not cheap. And when people come back and say it was fun and it was worth the money, that tells me something, because, you can have a good time and still think something is way too expensive. But people thought it was a good value for the dollar. So that really gets you. So Rikki, what about, have you got any feedback on this one? Nope, we lost Rikki. Okay, so let's go to the next question. And that is let's get Rikki in here real quick. Rikki, there? I'll write this down. Sorry, everybody. Hang tight. Let's see. 15 minutes.
It's live. It's really live.
It is. You there? Yeah, what we were trying to do was fix Rikki's volume because I know you guys could barely hear her when she was talking because her volume went down on her computer. Hello, Jeanette from Vermont.
See, and those of you who download the show too, when you get to this episode, all this will be magically gone.
This will be disappeared. It's not an issue with BeLive, it's Rikki's computer.
But Mike doesn't take out like when we flub up.
No, I keep that in there so it makes me look good. Da, 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 da.
My husband's at Costco, and Lord knows he cannot be at Costco without me and not text me things. So he's showing me.
What do they have? I always like to know about Costco.
I know, right? Okay, so do you see these? Are at Costco.
Oh yeah,
$50 for the pair.
Shut up. That's a good deal.
And wait, there's another version of it too. There's Minnie too.
Is that a full size?
It looks like a full size and then a carry-on, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'll totally do that.
They're American Tourister as well.
Nice. Rikki's here, I think.
No.
Yep, I hear you tapping.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, you hear me tapping? Okay.
Yeah, just make sure your software is on the bottom right where that speaker is, that you're at least 50%. That's where the problem is.
Okay, so go settings.
Because it'll change on you from time to time.
You said open sound settings? Is that what it was?
Yeah, like under mine, it's recording devices.
Okay. And
I'm running
then
Windows 7.
and then where do I go?
So go to whatever is bouncing on your sound meter. Like mine's the line in.
It won't work. I can't. Let's do it. I'll just try talking louder or whatever.
No, you're fine right now, but it'll
Well,
the meter will move on you from if you make a loud noise, it'll pull it back down.
I put the mic up against my face right now.
But
So.
now you're popping your fees. You want to get it back a little bit.
Okay, is that better? I don't.
Yeah, I can't hear you. I can't hear you hitting the guard as much now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I know, right? Megan's trying to enable me. She says I need to get those suitcases.
I guess we'll try doing it later because I don't want to interrupt the podcast anymore.
It's the same thing we did last week.
Okay. Well, last week I had a different mic, and I don't remember what we did.
It's not the mic. It's that little. There's a speaker down in your taskbar by the clock in the bottom right hand corner.
Yeah.
If you right click it. You got to right click it.
Right. I have open sound settings, open volume mixer, spatial sound, or troubleshoot sound problems.
Probably sound. Open sound devices.
That's what I did. Hold on.
Is there not a bunch of tabs that has something recording?
It's I see the sound tabs, but it's not. It doesn't allow me to adjust.
You got to double click on the line in, whichever one's moving. Double click on that.
It won't let me. Hold on. Let me go to the volume mixer.
And it fixed.
Hold on. Let me go to the.
Like my level's at 39 right now. I'm bumping it to 50. But it'll.
It won't let me make a change. It just shows that I'm talking, but it won't let me. And it says manage sound devices, but it won't let me.
You don't have, like it says, select a recording device below to modify its settings?
Mm-mm.
All right.
No.
We'll keep going.
Okay. Sorry.
Everybody. Okay. So we will continue. Let's see. Back to that.
I know I did this once before, but it's not showing up.
You're just lower than everybody. Like you're really going to be quiet on the podcast, which kind of stinks. But
I mean, I'm trying.
I know.
Okay, I'll keep playing and see what I come up with.
Okay.
All right. Sorry. I thought maybe it was this microphone wasn't picking up. And I thought I was coming through the microphone on
You're fine right now. Just keep it there. But if your dog barks, what's going to happen is it's going to pull your volume way down because when it's adjusting to the loudest, if there's a loud noise, it pulls it down so it's not so sharp. So you got to do that. So if you have a loud noise, you got to watch. Okay. So
sorry.
No problem. Okay, so I'm going to throw it back to you. Guess we're ready. So it's 20. So what have you heard about the Wild Africa truck, Rikki?
So I haven't actually done the Wild Africa truck either, but I've heard just fantastic things about it altogether. So everybody that I've heard that's done it really, really raves about it. We've had blogs on the Mouse for Less, and they all come back, just talking how great it was, how cool of an experience. So I would absolutely consider saying yes, go ahead and do it if it's what you want to do and if it's something that you really want to try.
All righty, next question is from Tim in the live chat. He says, one of my favorite things to do is to hang out at Epcot after the fireworks while the crowds leave and leisurely leave on our own time. I'm amazed that no one ever seems to be rushing anyone out. There are always people still drinking and finishing meals at Chefs de France. Does anyone else love doing this? And how long has anyone lingered? He says, boy, he misses that. And I like this question just because it's a good daydream question. And I've always kind of wanted to be the last person out of the park, but then again, I'm like not the kind of confrontational person that wants to be like, sir, again, the taser, like, sir, if you don't move, we're gonna have to zap you, or like, take you off to Disney jail, I just kind of move. And plus I'm not a late night person anyhow, but I do enjoy really taking my time, especially if you go out the International Gateway after a fireworks show. It used to be Illuminations at Epcot. What about you, Pam? Have you lingered till like the last person? I bet you have at some point.
So during normal operating hours, we have lingered, but we're not quite the last people there. I will say that one time I was in a conference and they actually had closed the Magic Kingdom for us. Or it was actually in Disneyland. They closed the park down, and at the end of the night, we were literally some of the last people there, and they had the double-decker bus for us, and it sort of drove us out, so we got to drive down Main Street with that, and it was really such a cool experience. But I know during normal operating hours, they really let you linger for quite a while. There's lots of photo opportunities and just the opportunity to sort of sit there and relax and wait for the park to empty out. The thing you do have to sort of watch is that transportation does stop at some point. Disney bus transportation. So you just be prepared to take some other kind of transportation. And the other thing is, especially if you're at the Magic Kingdom, the ability to take the monorail or the ferry or buses will sort of leave you stranded. So think about that prior to. You may need to think about Ubering perhaps walking over the Contemporary and Ubering to wherever you need to get to. But it's a really cool thing. And it's really interesting to see the park sort of empty out, just to sort of, it's fun to see the park sort of wake up too, or the resorts, when you're staying at a resort and you kind of are sitting out on your balcony, watching things, open up that way too. So anytime I can get an empty park or a near empty park, I like it. And it sounds like that'll be a possibility here in the near future.
Probably, yeah.
You could pull one like the guy that was camping on Discovery Island.
I know that guy was thinking.
Yes, he was. He's like, man, nobody's gonna be within 6 feet of me except the gators,
right?
And all those birds.
Oh my God, there ain't no way I'd spend the night on that island. You kidding me? I mean, I love Disney, but man, that place is like wild, crazy. Yeah.
It would be creepy too.
No way. I mean, just that lake behind us has snakes, turtles, turtles that eat snakes. God, I mean, they got to be way worse down in Florida. No,
all kinds of things that eat other things.
Yeah.
All right. So Jennifer has a question. She says that she knows by the time this airs, the registration has passed for Marathon Weekend, which it has. And I hope everybody got into the races. We don't know because we're recording on Monday, but she's asking for tips for signups. This will be good for everybody that is registering for Princess coming up here shortly and moving forward, because I do this every time. So first thing is, you want to go through you got to obviously have, this is just what I've been doing for the last 6, 7, 8 years, multiple devices ready to go 15 minutes before the queue time opens up, whatever time that is, because it does change from time to time. Also, before that, you can check your My Disney Experience count. This really doesn't matter too much, but I'm a nervous Nelly, so I will call the number. It's 407-939-4357. It's the My Disney Experience Help Desk. Have them give that a once over to make sure everything looks good there. Then I get my links already. I double check them, have them good to go. Click them, keep refreshing as the time comes up. Once you get in and it's time to register, here's what you do. You have an idea of what you're going for well ahead of time. Have your credit card ready. I know a lot of people want merchandise, but I do not buy. This is just up to you. I do not buy any merchandise. I do not put a proof of time. I get through it as quickly as possible, get my credit card in, submit. Now, this past, AP registration was a little bit different than anything I've ever seen before. The stories I'm hearing, but the thing is, I get through it as quickly and as accurately as possible. But you don't have to put a proof of time in. You're not proving anything on registration day. You have months to put that in because you can update it. So don't worry about that. We've gotten 2 calls over the past week where we've discussed strategies. 2 people swear that every time they make a small donation to the charity, they get in. I don't know if that's the case, and I'm not trying to encourage. I would like you to encourage donations to a charity, but these people swear that every time they donate to the charity, whether it's the Leukemia Lymphoma Society or whatever the associated charity is for that race, they've gotten in. But that is, I go through it as quickly as I can, and I've done it enough times. The questions are always the same. Are you in the military? Is this your first time event? Are you a DVC member? Are you AP holder? I do answer those, but I'm just like, and I get my credit card in there, got my distance, and I'm done. I don't mess with merchandise, don't mess with proof of time. So that's my best advice. It's not that it's perfect, but it has worked, just to knock it through there and get going as quickly as we can. So that's it for that one. Let's see here. This is a good question from Nancy. Let's get to this one. Hey, BOGP crew. My question is, I had a Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway Fast Pass for my April trip. Of course, that didn't happen, and I'm focused on my next hopeful trips. So far, no fast passes for any of the top tier rides in any Walt Disney World parks. So do you think there will be options for standby lines at all in the coming months? Rikki, let me ask you about that. So that's a good question because when the parks reopen, we don't, again, speculation, we have no idea. But do you think they're going to, because there's been talk of virtual queues. Are they going to do standbys where they don't normally? What do we think the future of standby is this summer?
I think it's going to really depend. They're going to see what they do in Shanghai here and I think take a lot of what works and go from there. I think we may see the virtual queue come into play, so people aren't standing in line long for a really long time. And that might be why we're not seeing fast passes really coming out yet, because they might go with the virtual queue option for those higher tiered tier 1 attractions. So I think we're just going to have to wait and see what happens as we move forward. I do think there will be standby queues. It's just, I don't know in what form or fashion we're going to see them in. So, yeah.
It will be interesting. Pam, what do you think? Because social distancing could make a relatively small queue look horribly terrible, which is a bad look. But I think that also it's going to look good because you're protecting your guests. It's a tough balance to take. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I think there will be a standby line of some sort. I think that to just eliminate that possibility altogether really sort of means that if you weren't able to get fast passes, then you're not going to be able to do very much in the park, right? Except for sort of wander around. Yeah. So I think that there will be a standby line of some sort, and we'll see what that looks like. I don't know. When I look back and I think about the crowds that we saw for Galaxy's Edge, right? When it opened, that we were all sort of together there waiting by Hollywood Studios and waiting to get in. And even still, when the parks closed, you were very, still seeing crowds, especially to be able to get in line for Rise of the Resistance, to get in the virtual line for Rise of the Resistance and all of that. So thinking about how they're going to deal with all that, there's a lot of things to consider, but I think we will see standby for at least some of the attractions.
All right. Megan Marie's got a great question, and it's very apropos for today's time. She says, are you doing anything to bring some Disney magic to your home? I'd love some ideas to make everyday things more magical. So obviously I do the shows every night at Eastern. And so we talk Disney for an hour every day. And obviously, my position is where I'm, helping people plan trips every day from, the time I finish my run and get my shower until right before I go to bed. So that's how I'm connected. But as a fan, obviously, when I'm on my runs, I listen to podcasts, other Disney podcasts. This morning, on my run. I listened to Nate was back with Matt. That was kind of fun. Got to hear about the boys and the Sherman brothers and that movie. So I really enjoyed that. That really kind of made a connection. Now I can watch the video as it's on Disney Plus now. So, just things like that. I know people have been doing the sing along. I'm not really into that too much. I'm not into current contemporary artists. I listen to 80s music, or country music. So
man.
80, I know 80s country music really. So that's not my jam. I know a lot of people have been liking that, but Rikki, what have you been doing to kind of itch that Disney scratch that Disney itch, whatever?
Yeah, whatever. So one of the big things that you can do is on the Mouse for Less, we have a bunch of recipes. So I know everybody's been cooking a lot during these quarantine times. So we have lots of different recipes from lots of different Disney restaurants that you can try to make and replicate. We had Elise do some amazing cheeseburger spring rolls, which I still am dying to make. I need to go to a different grocery store to buy the spring roll wrappers. But yeah, I so want to make those because they sound just amazing. So that's something that a lot of people I know are doing is to, make those Disney recipes, which, like I said, you can check out the Mouse for Less. It's in the blog section and we have just a bunch of recipes for you.
So on that topic, let me ask Pam, kind of piggyback on what you just said, Rikki. Are you shocked at how much kind of inside baseball Disney's released in the past couple of months with the official recipe to the gray stuff, or here's a on-ride video?
I think it's official in quotes. This is not their official recipe. I think it's like as close as possible to the official.
But I mean, they are, they're the ones putting it out there.
That's true.
Me that they are, because it's like it's not IP, but it's kind of like trade secret kind of thing. Maybe, I don't know. Pam,
that's why I think it's quote official recipe.
Maybe they're just missing one ingredient. I don't know.
So I will tell you what's funny is that when we sail on Royal Caribbean, they have a cookie that is called the Coconut Ranger cookie. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And this is a great cookie. And so they not too long ago put out their quote official recipe for this cookie. So we made it, and it was kind of a disappointment.
Oh no!
It was not the official Ranger cookie. Unless we did something horribly wrong, right? But no, it just didn't. It just wasn't like that. It wasn't like that cookie. And I think some of them sometimes they're hard to like translate into like a recipe size for at home because they're making them in such mass quantities. But this didn't even have some of the ingredients, I swear, in that cookie. So anyways, was very surprised about that. But no, so some of these recipes are probably going to be a little different than what you get there. And I think every chef, as they make it, do their own little thing, right? They do this, or they're like, well, the recipe says this, but I do this. So anyway, that. But at home, just to keep the Disney vibe alive, I mean, we do Disney all the time here. So we're watching the Disney movies and Disney Plus and all of that. But I remember when the quarantine first started, we still, in our neighborhood, a lot of people walk or run. And we did cut out Mickey heads and we put them all along our front window. It was kind of a cool thing because when you run past or when you walk past, you can see them, kind of spreads the magic a little bit, stuff like that. I think that those are still really important things to do. So
let me ask you this too, Pam. So Steve has put together some pretty awesome videos during the quarantine. Your husband, he's become quite the video man. And so we've been having this conversation on the live community check-in call-in shows. And here's my thing, and I had this conversation with a cast member the other night while I was talking to her at Disney, and she was talking about, did you see that today Disney released the Rise of the Resistance, ride through attraction experience? And the thing is, here's where I fall on these, because I'm missing Walt Disney World, but I don't want to be so immersed in it that I'm not one of those people that can do everything over video. Like, I like to watch the resort room tours. Like, that makes me feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm not one to watch the attraction ride through videos, because she's like, well, you should show it to your family tonight on your big TV. And I'm like, no, because I've been on it a couple times and I liked it. So I wouldn't mind like seeing it again, but I do not want to show that to my family because I want their jaw to drop when we get down there next time.
Yeah, exactly.
When we go on it for the first time. So, I mean, where do you guys fall on like the attraction videos? The room tours are awesome because that just makes me feel like, oh, I need to get to Coronado Springs, or I need to get to Wilderness Lodge, or what have you. But The on-ride attraction videos, I see where people like having virtual days and they're going through Tomorrowland, they're going through, this and that. I'm not there yet. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, for me, like if it's an attraction I've been on, then yeah, I mean, that's great. But like I haven't been on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway yet, and I don't want to spoil it by watching a ride through video of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. So I'm gonna hold off on that. Now I have been on Rise. I don't know that I do Rise yet because I've only been on it once, so I really want to see it more in person before I start watching the videos. But, things that I've seen over and over again that I love, I absolutely have no problem watching the ride through video on. But I think I have the problem with I want to experience the attraction in person first before I start watching ride through videos of attractions. And then I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am too. If it's something new and I haven't experienced it, then I like to experience it myself. But I will say some of the ones that first of all, I love the resort ones too. And that's why we have so many resort ones on the Magic for Less, because those are my favorites. I, like everyone else, or I don't know, I assume everyone's like me. I want to see what the room's going to look like before I stay there. Right. And I want to see like all the little details. So definitely those. And some of the ones like I do the walkthrough and some of them are just, their pictures. So we kind of try to put both up because I know people don't necessarily want to hear that I'm excited about like the USB outlets, but I always am excited about that. I'm like, oh, there's like
who's not excited by USB outlets nowadays?
Right? I know. Or like excited about the toiletries or something like that. So anyways, but the other thing I really enjoy watching, and that's because I've seen all of the nighttime shows, is the nighttime shows. I love because I like the background music and I like feeling like I'm there. The Happily Ever After we have on the Magic for Less YouTube channel is from the night it was released for the first time, and it has the 2 stars singing the Happily Ever After at the end, and I love that. I love their version of it. So anyways, those are just little things that help get you through, I think.
Is that version it's on the YouTube channel for the Magic?
It is. Yeah, that's the one on the YouTube channel.
I haven't seen that one, so I'm gonna check. See, now you're right. The nighttime spectaculars I can get behind, but like Rise, I don't want to do because like I still haven't seen it all because I've only been on it twice, and I've actually 1.5 times like I evacuated. So I'm and like you said, Rikki, I wouldn't want to see Mickey and Minnie's yet because I haven't seen it. Like, and I don't want my family because I want them to be surprised. But I mean, I'm 100% behind room tours. Like, give me anything. Like, walk around Wilderness Lodge, boom.
Yes.
I know.
I don't. Let me get this real quick because we're closing out the show. Do you miss the parks more? Do you miss the resorts more? Right now I'm at the point I miss being at a resort more than the theme parks. That's where I am. Pam, you're the same way?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to go somewhere and sleep in a different place than my bed and just enjoy. I mean, I don't know why I know I tried very hard to not take our travel for granted, knowing how lucky we were to be able to do some of the things that we do. But dang, I hope that I never take it even a little bit for granted because I am just missing going. I am missing the simple act of traveling. And I think that for so many of us, doing something new or unknown sort of helps stimulate your brain, right? I mean, totally it does. It gives your brain something to think about. Everything is not the same. So you have to actually think about so many different things. And I love that about traveling. I love getting someplace different and new and seeing how I react or how my family reacts or any of that. That's the cool thing about traveling. It enriches your life in ways that you don't even know. So I'm missing that right now. I think that, my brain's like, what the heck? Like, we're doing the same stuff every day. This is so boring. Right?
We had a warm day last week. Right now it's a little chilly and it's going to be warm again this weekend. I'm excited. It's going to be really warm. I've had my hammock out a couple times. The one day I had my hammock out was like Scott made this exact copy of the playlist on Apple Music of the old Key West loop.
Nice.
I mean, I was in heaven, like listening to the old Key West loop, and I was, I feel like I'm bad because I'm not dreaming of being at Epcot. I'm not dreaming of being in Galaxy's Edge. I'm dreaming of just hanging out at the pool at Old Key West. Like, that's what I want. Like, I don't even want to go to the park. I mean, I want to go to the parks, but if somebody said you can go to, hang out at Wilderness Lodge, you can hang out at Animal Kingdom Lodge, dude, sign me up. Like, even if parks aren't open, sign me up. I'm ready. So Rikki, though, you're more of a theme park person. Are you more missing the theme parks than resorts?
I am. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the resorts, but I'm definitely, wishing I was in the parks more. Yeah, 100%. Parks it is for me. So.
All right. Well, hey, that's going to do it for today's show. And let us know on Facebook, Resorts More, Parks More, where you find, and this will change as this goes on or shortens up, I think. But I think I'm always a resort guy first. Actually, I think I don't know. I'm older. I do like the park. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't like the parks. I love the parks, but man, give me a hammock right now, and a margarita, and knowing that I'm going to Olivia's in a couple hours, whatever. Look out. I'm
right.
So anyway, that's going to do it for today's show. Send your questions in to Mike@BeOurGuestPodcast.com or join us on Mondays, usually around 5:45 Eastern at Facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. We have the feeds going out every night on that location, so check it out on Facebook. Also, Instagram and Twitter @BeOurGuestPod and @BeOurGuestMike. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by the folks over at the Magic for Less. Hey, and if you're looking for something, Tanya in our live chat, I love Tanya down in Tennessee. She says, I didn't know the Magic for Less had a YouTube channel. Let me just take this ad read at the end of the show to encourage you to go to YouTube and check out the Magic for Less's YouTube channel, because we all need our sanity. And there's some great videos there. Steve has been putting together some high quality stuff. He always drops it on our little text chain with all of us.
Yes.
Usually about 7:00 in the morning, I'll be on a run. He's like, check this one out. And we're always
yes.
Like, yes. So you know what? Subscribe. You need your Disney fix. Spread the word. That really helps us out, and it'll get you through till that next trip. And when that next trip comes up, magicforless.com, fill out the quote form, an agent will get back to you right away, and you'll be planning that trip. Go ahead, Rikki.
I just want to throw out that the Mouse for Less also has one. So
yeah. Otherwise, you know what? The Be Our Guest podcast has a YouTube channel.
We do have a YouTube channel. So if you haven't checked out either of those YouTube channels, you might want to. I'm just saying. So
we're like Oprah. You get a YouTube channel.
And you get a YouTube channel.
All out and subscribe to them all. No, but yeah, seriously, we want to help you with that next week.
And hit the bell so you get notified when any new videos go up on any of those three channels. So
ring the bell, people.
Ring the bell.
Ring the bell. We're like 18-year-old vloggers here, but we're not.
But we're definitely not. No.
That's right. So check that out. And don't forget, spread the word about the show. If you're listening, share it on the social media. We appreciate that. And if you have a chance, go on iTunes, rate and review these shows. We appreciate it so much. It helps people find us. And we love new members to the Be Our Guest podcast family. We were featured on Disney Plus this week. Not really featured.
Kind of.
The Lappins kind of just walked by in the background of some B-roll, but it was awesome. We were on Disney Plus. They were doing the Disney Insider. And on Friday night, I was like, because they're like, I think that's Chris. I think that's Ben. So I went back and freeze. I was like, that is for sure Ben, because he's got on that vest. I was like, for sure. So yes, lizards are featured. I'm just going with it. We've been featured on Disney Plus.
Hey.
That's hot.
That's awesome.
That's too on Run Disney on the Disney Insider Show. So we're going to get out of here. We'll be back in on Friday, where we're talking about we talked about three things this past week on the community check-in shows. We're doing a little different on Friday. We have the power to bring back three things. We can bring back a restaurant or dining experience or a food item. We can bring back an attraction, and we can bring back an experience or a promotion, something that's not tangible. So we're going to do that on Friday, and then Friday night on the live community check-in, we're going to get your thoughts as well. So don't forget to join us there. We got the community check-ins in the meantime. So stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All right, let me chop that out real quick.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's up with this mic. I can't
sounds
get it.
Fine now. You just if you could increase the volume, it would help everything.
I can't. It says it's up all the way. That's the problem.
Huh. Okay, hang on. 20 minutes. Where do we start?
Sorry.
So what have you heard about the hang on.
I haven't actually done the Wild Africa truck either, but I've heard just fantastic things about it altogether. So everybody that I've heard that's done it.
So that sounds. Rikki, what about you? I mean, have you got any feedback on this one? Oh, we lost Rikki.
Actually,
that really
it sounded really good.
Have you got any feedback on this one?
So I haven't actually done the Wild Africa truck either,
we never had
but I've heard just fantastic things about it altogether. So everybody that I've heard that's done. Hey, Mike. I haven't actually.
What?
It sounds really good in mine. So actually it sounds too loud. I need to back it away.
Okay.
It sounds too loud.
Don't bring it down though. It sounds good here. You need to bring down your headphones volume is what you need to bring down.
No, like I could hear the difference in the sound, and I was definitely way too close. So
I'm just saying right now you're not as loud as Pam on my end on the recording.
Well, on the recording that I heard when we just listened to it, I was way too loud.
Oh, you're perfect on this end. Trust me. I'm jockeying it so that it sounds good. Like I'm riding the mixer.
Okay.
But it's good.
Okay.
We'll make it work. Okay, so I'm saving it. It's saved. That one's done. Because I know the other day I forgot to edit, and it bugged me. I was doing the ad read, and I just had I always pause between I do the Magic for Less ad and the Amazon ad. Oh, I forgot to do the Amazon ad. Dang it. Oh well. People use Amazon.
People use Amazon.
Please, it helps. We need everything right now. Yeah, so what was I saying? Oh, I always pause on that pre-read ad, and I forgot to cut that out, and it was like a big pause of me going,
oh no.
I was like, oh, and it wasn't that big a deal. My dad will whoop me.
Got it.
We're at social distance. He can't whoop me unless I got.
He can't whoop you. Ah.
Mama, don't.
Taller and quicker.
Little Buford.
What? Oh yeah.
Mama, don't pound on his head.
All right, Mr.
Mama, don't. Little Buford.
Okay.
I think we should shoot him instead.
Wait, watch if I can mute Rikki. No,
is this not the Disney sing along? Is this not
Rikki? She is now. She can't talk. No, she's back. Scheduled for the BOGP Mondays. We record at 5:40 for the live feeds. I feel like we're Big Brother. Mondays at 5:45 Eastern. Wednesdays at about 7 o'clock Eastern. Even though this week's iffy, it might not be. We might not have a show this Wednesday because I'm rescheduling. It's the Survivor finale night.
Oh,
and that's
nerd.
a big house. We have nothing to watch. That's the only thing we have to look forward to.
Right? I know. We've been watching too.
And Tyson needs to come back and win. But I win like $150 if
I really do like Boston Rob.
Yeah, he's showing his age, but I do like Boston Rob. I like the buddy system. That's so funny. And
what about Ethan too?
I do like Ethan, but that dude is just. I mean, I know he's battled cancer and stuff, so I get it. Like, dude, I'd be exactly like him if I was on that island. I'd be dead. I'd be like, I just can't do this. I'm old now, so I feel for him. But if Wendell wins, I win money, and if Michelle wins, and she's got a chance, Pam wins money. She could win again, and she barely. I don't know how she won the first time, and she might do the exact same thing this time. It's crazy. So we'll see. All right.
I know, but Tony's amusing to watch, right? He makes the show. He makes the show. He is
funny. That spy nest.
I'm dying when he's up
in the tree. Sarah, I'll be up in the tree. Let's use the spy nest.
He is making the show. If nothing else, he should get a bonus for making that show more watchable and enticing than ever before. So
totally. Sarah, no. And he'll totally just screw somebody over and be like, no, that was in the past. That was in the past. I know. We're good. We're good. And I'm like, dude, you just voted against me 12 hours ago. Dude,
we're good. We're good. We're good.
You're good. I'm not. You voted against me.
And he runs around when stuff's going down. He has got his fingers in all of it.
Yeah, if he wins, I have no problem with that. He's played well. Because he was so calm in the pre-merge, which was hard for him because he's a nut.
I know, right? Yes, he must have been pushing it way down deep, right?
we need to get that immunity idol. Come on, man. Come on, Sarah, cops are us.
I do like Sarah too. I will say.
Yeah, but she's kind of boring. I don't know. Michelle's kind of boring.
Agreed.
Boring.
Denise.
Yeah.
Boring.
Dinner is poured. Joanne, you're rocking it. I'll have a drink Friday.
Nice.
All right, so I got to think what I'm doing. Okay, so 1,669. We're tearing through the 1600s because of these other shows.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Here we go. Welcome to episode 1669 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. And as I've been saying for the last month or two, we still got to celebrate Fridays. You know, you got to cut that laptop loose on a Friday night. Can't really go anywhere. Maybe you can go in the backyard. One of the great things we're doing here in Missouri, as we are kind of reopening up things, but we still don't have a lot of entertainment stuff to do. I've noticed that there are a lot of folks that are making the backyard fire pits happen now that the weather's kind of churning. That'd be something, but we haven't gotten a new one since we moved to our new house. The old one was rusted through the bottom at the old house in Florissant, so we just kind of trashed that. So maybe we need to get one of those this weekend and sit around and pretend like we're on Survivor. Speaking of Survivor and the pre-show here, that'd be kind of fun. But whatever you're doing, just kind of get away from the work for just a little bit. Enjoy your family, enjoy those you're with, and have a great weekend. And we're going to kick it off right now, as we do, just a bit early, with some fun Disney talk. And we're going to ask for your feedback tonight on the community check-in, which will be at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, right here on the Facebook page. So join us and give us a call. So joining me today for a fun Disney topic, we have Rikki from touringplans.com and the Mouse for Less. Happy Friday, Rikki.
Happy Friday. I am looking forward to the weekend. I mean, again, I know it's gonna be me sitting out on my porch reading a book, but I'm still looking forward to it. So
gotta look forward to something. I mean, even if it is sitting on the front porch, I mean, at least I don't know. Sometimes I think Saturdays and Sundays take forever. Work at least gives me something to do. I want to go do something.
That's true.
At least during the week, the days go quicker. The weekends they're dragging on.
Yeah, with this whole quarantine inside thing, yeah, it's definitely making it a little more difficult to and really, yeah, I agree. The weekends do kind of not drag, but they go a little slower. Yeah. Which I guess is a good thing because we always complain the weekends go too fast. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll see, and we're getting there. We're definitely making progress. Also joining us up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, we have the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester. Happy Friday, Pam.
Happy Friday. Yeah, I'm still sticking by my statement from the first week that weekends have lost their punch a little bit, right? Yeah. You used to have stuff that you look forward to do. I don't know. We tend to do house projects on the weekend, which is awesome, right? Because you want to get those done. But by Sunday night, you're like, oh my gosh, I think I've injured something.
It hurts and it didn't before. Yeah.
Right? When you're out in the yard or, whatever. So anyways, we're getting through. We're being able to look forward to more things. So I'm grateful for that and starting to loosen up a little bit so we can do more things.
So speaking of house projects, so this is one thing that Pam and Paige did about a week ago outside. Because again, this house is new to us. So it's our first spring at this house. And so we have a little right behind me, behind the wooden wall here behind me, the big thick wooden wall. Yeah. This is the walkout basement. Okay. So there's a little patio right outside back there. And on either side, the previous owner had these plants. Okay. So it's a little, probably, I don't know, 10 foot by 10 foot little slab of concrete for a little patio. And then some plants. So these plants were, they were pretty, but they were big. And apparently we found out there's some pretty flowering ones, but the majority of them were something called hostas.
Yes.
I don't know if you know what hostas are, but these things are if you were making a Jurassic World, I guess you would just put in hostas because
yes,
they would take over.
Yeah, yes. These things grow they're pretty. I mean, they're more green than flowery, but they're pretty and they're all over. So apparently, Paige, she's home from Mizzou and living with us, and she's very into she likes doing this kind of stuff. So Pam and Paige were out there and they decided to prune the hostas, and they dug them up because there were just too many. They were taken over. So now what's happened is they dug up a bunch of these hostas, but the neighbors all asked about them. So we have hostas now from our house that live in the neighbor behind us. The neighbor,
that's awesome.
Pam's coworker came and got some. We have some on the path that's between our house and the neighbors and the next one. These hostas apparently we could have started a business, a hosta
probably
business, because you can just prune your hostas and you can give them away and they thrive. I don't think you can kill these. I don't know anything about hostas or
I have killed them before.
Have you? Because it's been super cold here and they're fine.
But yeah, so the thing at our house, the hostas are deer food. The deer apparently love them. And every year when we first moved into this house, I was fighting with trying to keep the hostas alive. And one year I got tired of fighting and I pulled them all out and I bought more deer resistant food. But yes, they're beautiful. And there are so many different varieties of hostas too. Mm-hmm. Like literally there are probably hundreds of different varieties and each of them have a little different leaf, color or variegation or something like that. So they're awesome plants though.
Well, they are. I love them because like that's where I put my hammock because it's under our deck because we have the deck up off the kitchen and the second level, we have like a wooden deck. And I'm the kind of person, I love when I go to you guys know because you've been to Castaway Cay with me many times. Everybody runs out to kind of lay in the sun. I find that hammock in the shade. Yep. I'm golden. So my hammock stays, and I guess hostas thrive in shade. That's why they're in that spot. So I'm like a hosta. So I get with the hostas under the deck in my hand. All Key West loop on. I'm asleep in 10. Good. Oh my gosh. Anyway, the hostas are everywhere. So that's kind of that's it. And we have deer around here. Every morning when I run, there's a family of 6 or 7 deer, but I don't think they've ventured to our house to eat the hostas yet. And we're only about 300 feet from the lake. So
yeah, ours pretty much knock on the front door. I mean, like our cameras at night will catch them. I mean, when we see the little paw prints like through the landscaping and I'm just like, So anyways, yeah, we had to go with more deer resistant.
Got it.
All right, so welcome to the gardening hour, people.
Yes.
We'll be starting a new podcast soon.
Yes.
That's all I know about gardening.
I have the brown thumb, so I'm not going to be much help on this
one. Rikki will just be able to tell us like what she has killed plant.
Exactly. Everything. I've literally killed
by it though, because like when I used to teach at Wedge, when I taught 6th grade regular classroom with my wife, she taught on one side of me. We taught next door to each other for 9 years, but the other teacher on the other side of me, there were 4 6th grade teachers. She was a super nice lady, but she was a master gardener. So she would always teach me. And I, back then I was like in my early 30s. I didn't care. Like she'd tell me about all, but now I wish I would have listened, because I had a resource. And I'm like, I just want to go home and play pool on my pool table.
I love to garden. Seriously, it's one of my passions. I mean, we do like here at my house now, we have a raised bed, actual garden, vegetable garden now. But I love doing the landscaping and always have. So I love it.
And here's the answer to my question. Diane says the deer do not like the green and white leaf variety. That's the kind we have. They're like a white edge to the green leaf.
They still ate ours. They ate every single one of ours. So
they might be picky. Missouri ones are picky. So
I know, right? I know. They're eating the stuff that they're not supposed to eat here too, like coral bells and stuff. So
I know what that is. But okay, here we go. So we're getting to the Disney talk. Too much gardening, but it was fun. All right. So please don't kill us on iTunes for that. The parks are closed, people. Remember that.
Right. You're lucky we're not talking about like, I can't even, I don't know any kind of topic that comes up.
Yes, we're sorry, but here's the Disney talk. And it is. So if you're on iTunes, you're listening in 2023, this was a crazy time.
It was.
Today we are talking about, we have the ability to bring back 3 things. We have some kind of supernatural power.
Yes.
And we can bring back 3 things, one in each of these categories. And again, we're going to play this game tonight on the community check-in, facebook.com/VRGS podcast, 8:00 Eastern. Give us a call. We're going to have this conversation. You get to bring back one attraction that is no longer at a Disney property. You can bring back one restaurant or meal or dining experience, something that has to do with dining. Mm-hmm. And you can bring back one like experience or promotion or something that's kind of something you can't like touch. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I have my ideas. So we're going to go around and get yours. This might be a shorter type show. And I say that and it always ends up being a longer one, but I think this one will be a little bit shorter. But we'll have to see. So let's start off with, Rikki, you go ahead and pick. Which of the 3 categories should we start with?
I think that we should start with food because, duh. I mean, we always should start with food.
Sure. We always talk about food. Either Alfred, whenever he calls in, it always ends with food, and it's my fault.
Absolutely. I'm starving right now. I'm ready to eat. So let's go. So do you want me to go first?
You can't. Diane has the comment though. She says haircuts, gardening, relevant quarantine talk.
That's true.
All right, good. Yes, thank you. We need to pass.
Yes, that's good. I love that confirmation. Okay, Rikki. So You get to bring back any dining related experience, restaurant.
I got it.
You only get one though. See, that's the thing.
I know.
We go through this list like 3 times. We're not. We're going through one thing for each. We're making it hard. What do you got? Don't cheat.
No, this was easy for me because I still dream about this. I want them to bring back the Cheshire Cake Cup.
Dude, that was an honorable mention for me. I'm not going with it, but that was on my talk this afternoon around the lake with that was brought up.
Oh my gosh, I miss the Cheshire Cake Cup so flipping much. I don't know why they took it away. There was no good reason for them to take it away because literally what it was probably an old cupcake that they had not sold or something like that they cut in half or something along those lines. They put it in a cup and then they put icing on top of it, and then they put another piece of cake on top, and then they put more icing on top of it, and then they put another cake and then more icing, and then they had this gigantic white chocolate medallion that had like, you know, one of the Alice in Wonderland characters on it. It was the simplest thing. It was so flipping good. I don't know why they don't have it anymore. I literally, there is no reason not to have the cake cup anymore, but they don't have. I have brought the cake cup home. Pam has seen me bring the cake cup home. I literally brought like something to put the cake cup in. I put it in like I asked for cups when I went to the Disney parks. I asked for them to hand me a cup. I put the cake cup in the cup, I put the lid on the cup, and then I put the cup in my purse. And then that's how I got famous for carrying food in my purse.
But then again, you've brought home clam chowder in your purse too, so it's not really that.
I brought home pocket biscuits. I brought home.
You're like a hoardy old lady. Hoardy. Okay.
That has taken a horrible turn, and we lost
very well into the electro voice.
We've lost our family rating.
Like D. Okay, so anyway, back to what we were talking about. God, I'm such an idiot. No, but I'm with you. And the thing is, too, about that is, I'm keeping it real here, is the thing is, the cake cup was like the perfect theme park snack. It's sweet. It's very easy to get around. It's not like melty.
No.
I mean, they had more than one variety. I think
they had 2. Well, no, they had 3. They usually had 2 at a con. They usually or maybe they had 4, actually. Now that I think about it. They might have
got those things like they were crack. I loved them.
Yes.
Yeah, and that spot too. It's right next to Cinderella Castle, the cut through back by the teacups. It's just Disney. What? Bring it back. Come on.
Look, I don't know why they took it off. They have the Cheshire tail now, which is not nearly as good as the cake cup. So just bring it back. I'm just saying, bring it back. You can. It's easy. You're literally just using the old cupcakes that you didn't sell. I swear that's what these cupcakes were.
Rikki starts the show off on fire with a great pick there as her first pick in the food category. Pam, what about you? What are you bringing back?
All right, so I'm taking it old school Pam with this, okay? Because I have guess how many answers? 2.
Exactly.
This is my right. I first pulled out this trick in an early episode I was on, and I'm going to bring it back.
Double digits.
That's right. So first of all, I'm going to bring back a snack that doubled as a meal, and it's the Figaro fries.
Oh, dude, I haven't thought about that in years.
What the heck? These were literally fries, yummy fries that had bacon and tomatoes and lettuce and ranch dressing and I think some cheese of some sort. So
was it sour cream? It was ranch, right? Yeah,
it was ranch. It was ranch. And I don't even typically like ranch, but this was the perfect combination. And it really was a snack you could have as a meal.
Yes.
Or it made a fine side dish to whatever else you were ordering at Pinocchio's, but they were great. And for a while they brought them back and like didn't have the tomato and lettuce on it. And I was like, no, that was the part that made it all kind of work together.
Healthy.
Yes. I felt like I was basically a salad at that point, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, I'll have the fry salad, please. So anyways, but it was good. It was a good snack and like a reason to go to Pinocchio's, in my opinion, and there aren't that many. So anyways, that was one. And the other thing I want to bring back is, can we bring back Yoshi to the California Grill so that she can make her sushi? Not that the sushi that they have right there isn't good. It is. But there was something about seeing her there. As much as I liked the food, I liked seeing her there. And she had been there for so long. And she did such a great job. So anyways, loved her. Loved the sushi.
Figaro fries. You know what? Here's the thing, because my Pam says this all the time. Okay, so when you watch TV, and this was more before the quarantine when things were normal, but it's still the case because we're still eating fast food, some people, and, eating out. But the thing is, Americans no longer can have a hamburger. It's got to be a Baconator with 7 patties, a pound of bacon.
Yes.
Like, it can't be fries anymore. It has to be Figaro fries.
It's gotta be truffle Parmesan fries, which are delicious, by the way.
These are like contemporary snacks. You can't just have fries. You got to have Figaro fries.
Well, did I say too that there was bacon on it? I might have missed that there was bacon.
No,
okay.
You said bacon.
Okay. All right. I want to make sure because it had bacon, and hello, if you put bacon on anything, it makes it a little better. So.
Oh, man. Those are good picks. Okay. So here's mine. Mine's a restaurant I never got to go to. And I've always wanted to go there. So I don't think you ever went there, Rikki, but Pam probably did. And here's I don't think it was that special, but I always read about it in guidebooks. This was way back in the day, like when you would read about it. This is why I love San Angel Inn so much. Like the guidebooks were put a picture of that.
Yes.
The paragraph made it sound, and I like the restaurant. Don't get me wrong, I go there all the time. I still, because I think I have an affinity because of the old Burn Bombs guides. But one of the ones that the guidebooks always sold was the Concours Steakhouse.
I knew that's what you were going to say.
I never got to eat there. And I would bring that. I mean, I bet it wasn't. So, Rikki, have you been there? No,
I didn't go there. I was a Disney fan when the Concours Steakhouse was around. Like, I remember when they switched it over to the counter service, because it was where the counter service restaurant is now, Contempo Cafe. But I didn't. Like, I was a new Disney fan at the time, so I didn't get to experience it. But they were famous for something that were sticky Mickeys or something like that. Like, they were these sticky buns.
Mickeys. That sounds like something that's like a felon that
I'm pretty sure that's what they were. I'm pretty sure that's what they were called. They were these sticky buns that they were so famous for at the time, and for breakfast. I'm almost certain they were called sticky Mickeys, but I could be wrong.
The show is going so poorly. So save us, because this show is totally.
This one will not be sponsored by us.
Not good. Not good.
Pam has choices. This is not one of them. Yeah.
Did you eat at the Concours Steakhouse, Pam?
I did eat at the Concours Steakhouse. Not only did I eat, I don't remember the sticky.
That's not what they were called. I swear that is.
But I actually, this is a good story. So I ate there shortly before it closed. First of all, Steve and I ate there a few times. It was great. It was really one of those locations that was sort of a hidden gem, right? Yes. That people didn't know about it. But I have this very distinct memory from when I was a kid, and we were staying at the Contemporary, and we went to the Concours Steakhouse, and I had breakfast there. And I remember getting French toast, which was my favorite thing in the world when I was a kid. And it was so thick and had powdered sugar on it. This is a very distinct memory. And you can see the monorail coming and going right above your head, which was one of the big sort of appeals of that restaurant. So I absolutely remember eating there.
Yep. So what was the food? Was it a good steakhouse? What was the vibe in there? I mean, of course it would be kind of like eating at Chef Mickey's, but it would be more subdued as a steakhouse is, right? I mean, did it have fancy light, like low lighting, like most steakhouses? Because with it being in the concourse, I can't picture what the experience would be like.
Yeah. So it did have lower lighting though. For somehow they were able to create sort of an ambiance, even though, as things went on, of course, Chef Mickey's is right over.
Right. And you can probably hear the laughing, waving. Woo!
Exactly. There's like a party going on behind you.
Behind 57.
Yes, exactly. But it did have, it felt more upscale, definitely, than Chef Mickey's did. It just did. But it was sort of open. And if you scour the internet and sort of look at some of those early pictures, of course, it really sort of complemented the whole Grand Canyon Concourse and that famous Mary Blair mural. It had sort of those colors to it. So it did feel very Disney in a sort of more adult way, probably. So
guess what, guys? I was right. It was the Sticky Mickeys.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. What it was was a sticky bun for breakfast?
Yes. So hold on. I'm trying to pull it up. Give me 1 second. It's it's listed on as one of the best cinnamon rolls.
This became the Palo sticky bun, maybe.
I know, maybe because the Palo sticky bun is actually really good.
That's one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. Is that Palo?
Those are really, really good.
Yeah. So, but no, it was the Sticky Mickeys, and I
Were
knew
they
I was right.
Mickey mitts or something, or did they have were they like Mickey's head, kind of like a waffle?
Hang on, I'm still trying to pull up a menu, and my computer's running really slow. Sticky Mickey is Walt Disney World's version of a cinnamon bun. It's shaped like the mouse himself. So, yes.
Oh man, that's a great idea though. A Mickey shaped cinnamon roll. Heck, that's better.
I mean, they do technically have that at the you can get it at the Main Street Bakery. They have a Mickey shaped
one.
Yeah,
I always go to.
I do.
All right, Megan's got a good point too. Point to Megan here. Everything they removed from the Kona Cafe menu. Amen. My teriyaki steak.
Oh yes.
Oh, I used to love. Yes, that's a good call. That's a good call.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. So you got to call in though tonight when we do this.
Yeah, okay, so Mickey. Oh, I'm so happy that's the thing.
That should be your new Twitter handle. If I had your password, I'd change it. All right, Pam, we're going either attraction or like a promotion experience. You pick. What are we going next?
So I'm going with a promotion or experience. Okay.
All right, pick.
And what I am giving is the Pirate and Princess Party.
Yes.
Remember? That was so cool. It really was. First of all, it was so cool because the attendance was fairly low at these events.
Yes,
I mean, truly, truly low. You got to sort of hunt for treasure. Like you got this little sack that came and you picked up treasure at different locations, like they were basically Mardi Gras beads and some coins and stuff like that. So that was, I know, right? Some doubloons, yes. So that's sort of like the other parties that they have now. You got to go pick up stuff. But the other thing that was very cool about this is they had a parade, and they had special fireworks.
Yes.
The magic music and mayhem or something fireworks. They were really good, really and truly. And they were designed for that event. So very much like Mickey's Not So Scary and Mickey's Very Merry, these sort of had their own fireworks. And it was just a very cool event. You saw a lot of people dressing up as a pirate or a princess. You got to meet different pirates and princesses throughout the land. They had different activities that you could do, and we really enjoyed it. It just sort of gave another spin on that whole party thing. And this was probably one of the first times that Disney ventured out from its two parties, right? And they were very much reduced in price. Of course, now they make a lot of things available after hours, but yeah, this was one of those things besides the parties that you could do. So I loved that. So that was fun.
Those parties took place like about this time of year, right? April, May-ish.
Yes, in the spring.
Yeah. I remember we played the fireworks music on Magical Mouse Radio, and that was a great soundtrack to that fireworks show because it was kind of a combination of the Pirates of the Caribbean music, and then you had some of the obviously some of the princess stuff too, but it was just it was tighter. It wasn't as long of a show as like a Hollow Wishes. I would say like 8 or 9, maybe 10 minutes. It was probably about 75% the length of a normal fireworks show, but it was good. Yeah, I never went to the party though. I wish I could have.
I think it had a ton of fireworks in it too. Like I think I remember the whole push for that being like it's a shorter show, but like just as many fireworks or something like that. So it was a neat event. I would honestly love to see them do that more. Now I know a lot of work goes into the parties, and just to come up with a theme and then a different fireworks show and a different parade show, I get that, but this was really interesting. So.
All right, I'm hopping in with mine, and because I'm not going to Rikki because I'm scared she's going to steal this one because I love this one.
Okay.
Love this one.
I don't think you're going to guess what I'm going to say.
Well, no, and you could probably guess what I'm going to say. If I could bring back one thing that was like intangible, and there's a lot of choices because I was thinking about. Well, the thing I would bring back is Year of a Million Dreams.
I knew that's what you'd say. Yeah. You're not. Then you're not going to believe what I'm going to say. So I'm just saying. Yeah.
So here's the thing too with Year of a Million Dreams. I think this is the perfect time to bring this back. Say late 2020. When things get relatively back, they're going to. Obviously, we were all moving forward to the 50th. That was going to be the big thing, and it still will be. The 50th is going to be one heck of a celebration. I'm imagining at Walt Disney World. It needs to be. But I mean, I think the thing is, we've been told that we're making it through this. We need to stay optimistic. We need to stay positive. And I think the thing about Year of a Million Dreams was it was exciting for the first time visitor when you went down. A lot of times you didn't even know about it. If you were a first time visitor, you got there, maybe they would explain, hey, what's your dream? And you know what? We're going to try to make dreams come true while you're here on your vacation over the next 4 or 5 days. But for the hardcore Disney fan like us that are listening to the show, it became kind of like a slight game. You would hope to run into what Paige and I back in the day, we always called them dreamers. You saw the people in the white pants, the light blue shirts with the satchel, and we were like, oh, they're backdooring into they're backdooring into Haunted Mansion. Get in line. Let's go. Like you couldn't force it. Like they were always gone by the time you went through the ride. But, like you always had that chance. It's kind of like, I don't really play the lottery, but if you buy like one ticket for that week or those few days until they, draw the ping pong balls, you can still, for that brief period of time, dream about what you would do if you became a millionaire. Like Paige and I had these conversations. What if tonight they tell us we can't go back to Riverside? We got to stay in the Cinderella suite. Well, what are we going to do? Like we had those conversations. What if we win DVC? What if we win, this or that? I didn't win much. I won the Fast Pass, the Dream Fast Pass, right in front of Rikki because they only had 20 and they took off for Rikki got hurt.
They took off and I didn't get my stupid Fast Pass. I really should have just said I'm with them and
it was on the last. It was my last ride of that trip because I had to drive home that day. We're getting off Peter Pan and they were like right there. Yeah. And I have that somewhere. I never used it because I wanted to keep it. It's a great treasure. It's a keepsake. But it was just that whole thing of, a Walt Disney World vacation is a magical time, right? It's fun. It's full of whimsy, magic. You're making memories. But to amp it up where you probably aren't going to win anything, but you could win something big, just for riding the Astro Orbiter, just being in the right rocket at the right time. I loved how they did that. That was just that's so up my alley. And I wish they'd bring it. I think that'd be a cool thing, especially now more in the social media days. Because immediately people would be like, guess what I want? And like pictures.
Absolutely.
I think it'd be a win-win-win. It wouldn't be a huge cost to Disney. I think they'd win 10 times over in the PR if they brought it back. I would love it. So Rick, what about you, Rikki? Real quick before you get to yours. I mean, Year of a Million Dreams. Yeah. Probably the best promotion they've ever done.
I think so. I mean, I thought so when they did it. It was just such a cool idea. There were so many different unique prizes that you could win. You had the castle suite option. You had the option of winning a trip to every single, Disney theme park around the world. You had, there were so many. There was the one person who won DVC, they actually won a DVC contract.
He listens to the show, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, there were so many real, and then there were small things too, like you could win a pin or ears. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, and it was such a cool experience. And you're right, it would be so, in a way, easy to do, and it would get so much buzz.
Yes, it would. Because like old school people like us would be like, yeah, they're bringing it back, and I mean, they have to love it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, all right, I'm scared that the chat room's giving up yours. No,
they have not. I'm telling you, mine is something you would never think I would say.
Okay, go for it.
All right. I do like the option in the chat, and I regretted the fact that I didn't think of it, though. The Osborne Lights, which is in the chat, is a really, really, really good option. And I think that a lot of people wish that they would bring that back. But my option is actually in the same park. So my option is I wish they would bring back Star Wars weekends. Did you think I was going to say that? You did not. I I knew you wouldn't think that I would say that. But I think, again, now is the perfect time to bring back Star Wars weekends because you have this entire land themed after, Star Wars. And you have all these new stories that you could really involve in the Star Wars weekends hoopla. Hoopla for Star Wars weekends.
Miss Hoopla.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
They definitely wouldn't do that anymore because that goes against everything.
But
But
still be awesome. Darth Vader doing some Vanilla Ice is always classic.
exactly, it's always classic. But there were definitely aspects of that I think that they could bring back that were incredibly cool. You could do things like the meet and greet opportunities like they had with actual celebrities that were in Star Wars now, and now you've got just a ton more who could come in. You could do the different. Obviously, I know they wouldn't want to do the characters dressed up as Princess Leia anymore, or Darth Goofy, or I know Stormtrooper Donald. Like I don't think that they
Those were
really
awesome. Those were great meet and
they
greets.
were
Mickey as
awesome.
a Jedi like Luke. That was so cool.
I think that Disney doesn't want to go that route anymore, which is sad because they were really cool. But they could bring out some of those rarer characters that they don't have in the park right now. And I think that would be really cool. It was just Star Wars weekends. I only got to experience it once, and I made sure that I didn't know it was the last year that they were going to be doing it. To be honest, it was not kind of suggested that it would be the last year, but I got to experience it the very last year, and it was such a cool thing. They were testing, they had at Backlot Express, they had like this weird,
that meal.
It wasn't a meal. It was like, it was kind of like what they did at the Hollywood Brown Derby of like this lounge that they had. They had this weird lounge that you got to go to. And we did it. We did the lounge experience and had like Star Wars themed food. And it was a really cool thing that they did and something that they could easily bring back again. Like I said, it was at Backlot Express. They just had some, tables out. They had a special menu and you just went there and ordered. So I wish that they would bring back Star Wars weekends. And this is from a non-Star Wars fan. I mean, honestly, if I'm wishing that they came back, I think a lot of other people would wish that Star Wars weekends would come back.
That's what Karen says in the live chat right now. We had this conversation last week on the community check-in on the call-ins when we were having a show about forgotten attractions that things we miss that we wish would come back. And a lot of folks came up with stuff like Star Wars weekends, Super Soap weekends, ESPN the weekend, where you get the opportunity to have these more like intimate, specialized experiences with folks that are in your fandom, whether it's sports, soap operas, Star Wars, stuff like that. And, the discussion that we ended up having was if, for the next, say, year, 12 months, 18 months, whatever, the attendance is lower, this could be an opportunity to bring back those things, to bring in niche groups, because like Star Wars fans, hardcore, they're going to come, like fans of sports. If you have the opportunity, like, hear from Tom Brady in some kind of a form, because he's in Florida now, or, something that
I wouldn't, but other people might. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people that would, you know what I'm saying? Like a LeBron James or somebody where you can have like an intimate experience for a weekend. Tie that in, soaps are not as big a deal anymore, but you could do like reality TV. So, I'm just saying like some kind of like those smaller venue things were exciting for those fandoms where maybe they could consider bringing they probably won't, but they could. No, so
they could.
All right. So there we go. So that was our promotion or attraction. So the last thing to bring back. Oh, sorry. It was promotion or event. So our last is the attraction. This is the one that was killing me. Oh man. Yes. Yeah. I had two. And I still don't know which one I'm going to pick right now as I'm talking because I'm going first. Oh my gosh. Because I feel like if I have three. What? But if I say one, I'm just like, I'm sliding the other two and it hurts me. Like it really does hurt me right now to have to pick.
Well, you can't do three. I know. That's just not allowed.
That's not. You could get away with it.
Okay, so here it is. So I'm not going to pick Tapestry of Nations.
I like how he said I'm not going to pick this one. That's the way of sliding it in.
I'm also not going to pick Illuminations.
Got it. Okay, now we're in the. But see how those two tie together nicely. Yeah, see, you could have totally cheated in that regard and tied those two together.
Sure.
I don't know. I guess it was right around the Millennium Celebration. It was just. Epcot was magical at night. It was magical all the time. But like come 7:30, you would start to hear do, 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 or well, you'd hear the prelude for Illuminations, but then the parade Tapestry of Nations would make its way around the World Showcase Promenade, and you'd hear those drums on that rotating float.
I like how this was the one he wasn't going to talk
it
about.
It is not the one I want. That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
You pick Illuminations because it's too recent.
Yeah.
Bringing back Spectral Magic. I love Spectral Magic, the Spectral Men, and just again the perfect night to close out of the Magic Kingdom. Perfect soundtrack.
That was a good one.
Beautiful, and it's perfect for a theme park at night to send you home. It was awesome. Spectral Magic's where I'm going. All right, Rikki, what do you got for your attraction?
So I am not going with Journey into Imagination with Figment, the original version, not the,
You're all cheating here now.
cheesy bad versions. But I do miss myself some Dreamfinder. Yeah, we're totally all cheating, by the way. I am going to go with another Epcot attraction, and it's not the ones that everybody goes with. It is Body Wars. Again.
Oh, that made me so sick.
See, I get it. I get how it makes a lot of people sick, but I have such great childhood memories with Body Wars. It's such a weird attraction to have great childhood memories from. But that's the one. And me and my brother both have weird childhood memories for this attraction. So I guess it stuck with both of us. But now in this time where we're all learning about infectious diseases and everything like that, like now would be the perfect time to have an attraction themed after learning about healthcare, and that would be the perfect thing.
Here's what it is: Body Wars : you versus the Rona.
Apparently we need a whole section on hand washing.
Exactly.
I don't think people did it.
I don't think they had it before. So I'm just saying, I think now would be the perfect time to bring back something like Body Wars, and also the Wonders of Life Pavilion, because I think we just totally whiffed on all of that. Nobody learned anything. So that's where I'm going with. I made Brian watch Body Wars on YouTube so that he could see what it was like. And dude, I could still do that attraction and be just fine. Like I think it still holds up for the most part. So yeah.
We didn't learn anything from that pavilion because Goofy with health was one of the main, was one of the things in there.
Okay, look, when you have the making of me, that's just a weird thing. I don't know how that got through Disney PR, but okay, right? Let's go with that. So
again, on Magical Mouse Radio, we used to play the Goofy about health, like audio from the attraction, and like as I recall, it was like be healthy, only smoke 3 times a week.
When you're skiing, try not to break your leg.
Exactly. It was like, wait, okay, what? And Karen does have the point. She says her daughter is afraid of those round-headed characters at the beginning of Spectral Magic. Everybody was. That was a joy of it. It was beautiful. It was a nightmare at the same time. I mean,
true.
Air fuels. All right, man, you close us out. You get the attraction.
All right. So I only have one, actually.
Oh.
And I'm going to the Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
So get that frame of mind.
Okay, I'm there.
And we are going to the Legend of the Lion King show. It was so good. It really was truly good. So it utilized puppets, and it had a pre-show. First of all, I loved the way this sort of utilized the pre-show area, the concept of that really nicely. Because you went in this room and then you moved to this room and then you moved to the showroom. And I thought that was genius. You're waiting the whole time, but you don't really notice it because of the pre-show. And during that pre-show, Rafiki would come out and talk with you, but it used all these beautiful puppets, which I think has to have led them into, of course, all of their Broadway productions. This was so just beautifully done, and the singing and the soundtrack and all of that, it was great. It was sort of right when that attraction came out, and it was right there, of course, where they do Mickey's PhilharMagic right now. So but yes, we really loved that. Hannah was really little, and I remember her just being enchanted with that, so we loved taking her in there. It was just a great experience, so love that one.
Was it a popular experience? Because I never got to see it, but I mean, prime location, but PhilharMagic has prime location and you can walk on that anytime you want. Was it kind of the same type thing?
I felt like it was much more popular than PhilharMagic is now, really and truly. I remember having to wait for that. And that's why I thought the beauty of the whole pre-show thing was in, because I remember having to wait for it. And not just the pre-show like that's in, Mickey's PhilharMagic now. Like you're standing in there and you hear the occasional character talk like, move closer or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, not like that. This is a real pre-show. So
the pre-show in there is actually you just put your 3D glasses on, get with somebody, take a selfie, post it.
Right. Exactly. Take pictures of your family.
Exactly. They're upside down. That's how it works.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, that's our thoughts on bringing back three things: an attraction, a promotion or experience, and a dining related option. Now it's your turn. Tonight, join us on Facebook, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Give us a call. We're going to continue that conversation. And of course, eventually that show will be up here on the feed. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by our friends over at the Magic for Less Travel. Whenever it comes time for that next Disney getaway, remember, adventure's out there and you need to seize it. Get that next trip on the books. We can book those basic packages for 2021 right now. So you have something on the books. You can start that countdown ticker and lock in that room. Remember, the room is the only thing that sells out at Walt Disney World. They don't run out of tickets and they don't run out of dining, but you might run out of a room at Yacht Club for a certain time of the year. You might not get Pop Century during a certain time of the year. Get that room, lock it in with a $200 deposit, fully refundable up until 30 days prior to travel. Later on, when those vacation packages are officially announced for 2021, we can add on the dining, we can add on the tickets and all the stuff to really fill out that vacation. But right now, secure that room. So drop by the magicforless.com today. Check out all the great information there. Great place to start your planning, especially for your resort. Look at all the pictures, the room layouts, the reviews. It's all there. And then while you're there, fill out that free, no obligation quote form, and an agent will get back to you right away. So check them out today. It's really important. If you support the folks who support us, we can keep the show going. And we sure love being with you. We've done it for over 12 years now. And it is something that I'm passionate about. I love it. Please support us during this time. We'd appreciate that very much. TheMagicForLess.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. You get all your Prime benefits and it costs you nothing extra. And it really does help support everything we do. So again, please bookmark it and use it often. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Give us a follow on the social media, Instagram and Twitter at beourguestpod and at beourguestmike. And again, facebook.com/beourguestpodcast. All right, we're going to get out of here and let you get on with your weekend. We'll be back again on Monday with another great show. Next Wednesday with more listener questions. Next Friday, more topical discussion. And in the other days, of course, you're going to get some of our feed shows from the community check-ins. If you don't like those, if it's too much, go ahead and delete, but just do not unsubscribe. We need you there. Don't unsubscribe. And if you don't subscribe to the show, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe button, please. That helps us keep our place in the iTunes store. All right, so we're out of here. And for Rikki and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. Whatever you do, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Yay. Thanks, everybody. That was so fun tonight.
That was a good one.
That
was fun. Now I need
Even though we got a little risque. It was so fun.
Hordy.
We did it from the very beginning. I had a wardrobe malfunction prior to recording.
That was before we went live.
Yeah, that was close, Mike. That was close. I'm a hoardy old lady.
You're a hoarder.
he said hoardy old lady.
I know. As soon as I said it, I was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, but I don't want to have to edit. It's like, dang, that's totally me. Like, I'd be teaching sixth grade and say something like that, and all the sixth grade boys would be like, I'm like, if you laugh, I'm going to give you detention.
And secretly, Mike's trying not to laugh himself right in that.
So we had to do the human growth and development talk every year. No. Yeah, like, and we always scheduled it for the hour before spring break started. I would do all the boys for the entire sixth grade because I was my male teacher. We'd send the girls across the hall to Pam's room with the other. So they had three of them because there were three female teachers. I was the only kid. So I had all the sixth grade boys.
That sucks, man.
And so I hope there's no kids listening. I probably shouldn't say it. So, like, you got to say the names of like the body parts. Like, as you like the video talks about, like,
right. Don't say it.
Male body.
We know what the body parts are. Yes, we got it. Yes.
So here's what I would tell them. I'd be like, if you laugh when you hear that word, that means you don't know anything that's going on. And I'm throwing you out of this room. If you start laughing, because you got to do that. So I, because I'd seen the video every year. It was with Kurt, actually.
Oh, there you go.
So anyway, so we're like, you play it. And so I'm just like, my buddy that taught 5th grade, he would come over, Dave, because he was the only male teacher in 5th grade, and we'd do the 5th and 6th together. So I forgot we were together. And that was like, he was in my wedding. Like we got in so much trouble together outside of school. This was not a good idea to have us doing human growth and development with like 100 5th and 6th graders. Anyway, so it became a game with us because we just like, I'm telling you, if you even laugh, it just shows you have no idea what's going on. You're immature. You should not be in this room. So like we knew when it was coming in the video, right? So like you just watch the kids, like as soon as it got said, like and you knew the clowns, right? You knew we took bets on like, okay, Daryl's gonna laugh. Daryl's for sure. Daryl's gonna be out of here, so he will not be able to. So you would see like they would say the first one, and it'd be like. You'd see like their head was gonna blow right off the floor. And so it'd be like, I think Dave said it or something like, what? It's just the word blank, I'm like, wow, I can't laugh, and he couldn't help it. I'm like, get out, go to 4th grade. Like, get out of here. It was like a game we played every year, and it was so funny because they just it out of it the exact same way.
I mean, and he says this now, and we're still sitting here laughing about it now. Like if that word just got blurted out right now, we'd just start busting out laughing. I mean, I'm just saying, we totally would. So
6th grade boys couldn't handle it. It was so funny. Anyway, that was it. Yeah, so
oh my god.
So we'll see what people say. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here, edit these things up, and I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, we'll see you.
See you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. This horny old lady is going away.